We live in a world today that is run by technology and media. The people of today are greatly influenced by music, social networking, television, and the use of cell phones. In this slideshow presentation, we will go into greater depth of how we feel these things influence us. So the question is, Millennial generation, what is it? All of your answers may be different and you may not agree with what we have to say, but that is what makes it our opinion.
What is a millennial generation? Our studies show that the formal definition is Generation Y, which is the offspring of Generation X, making the Generation X our parents. Our group decided to use this as our formal definition because we believe that it gives a good understanding of what the millennial generation is. Those who are doing research on the millennial generation could use this definition as a guide to further their research.
What influences the millennials? There are many aspects in this world today that influence us. We as a group believe that music, social networking, technology, and media play an important role in influencing our society. Music is a great way for young millennials to get their feelings out, whether it be anger, grief, heartbreak, or joy. Music is the way we express ourselves. Social networking works great for expressing yourself too. Millennials can go onto almost any social networking site and express themselves through setting statuses, tweeting, blogging, etc. Technology and media play a huge role in influencing us as well. Websites, television, and magazines are just a few of the ways that technology can influence us. Young women of this generation are influenced by what they see in popular magazines such as 17, Cosmo, and People. Seeing these beautiful women on the covers of these popular magazines can be a good or bad influence to them. Women with low self-esteem or low confidence may compare themselves to these women, making them feel bad.
Music is one of the greatest aspects that influences the people of today. Our group chose Here's to Never Growing Up by Avril Lavigne as an example because it portrays high school students having a good time. The video tells a story of high school students at their senior prom trying to make the most of every moment. Showing high school students trashing their hallways, running wild throughout the school, and being young and free in a music video is a perfect way of showing that. Most teenagers would love to be crazy like that in their schools. Avril did a great job of making viewers feel young, wild, and free while watching this music video.
Our group picked the song Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus because we feel that it is very relatable to numerous teenagers in our society today. This song portrays the youth continuously getting their heart broken due to not keeping their promises, fidelity, and lack of trust. Miley tells her story of heartbreak by visually showing her crashing down the cement walls. She is not afraid to show her vulnerability and pain. We believe that Miley is trying to show and tell all the young girls out there to be careful of who they let into their lives. She wants us to know that love is dangerous.
Another song we picked was Round Here by Florida Georgia Line because it portrays both the country life and the city life. It tells you that you can still have fun no matter where or how you live. Growing up in a small town is different than growing up in a city. Our generation is split between the two lifestyles. We as a group grew up in a small town where the main occupation is farming, so we know exactly how to have fun without all the attractions you see in the city. The millennials that were born and raised in the city have just as much fun as we do.
Next on our list was social networking. Interaction between peers is made easier every day by these social networking sites. There are hundreds of social networking sites out there, but our group chose just a few for examples. The apps Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter make it easy for friends to chat and keep one another updated on the go. Instagram is a popular app used to share pictures and videos quickly with friends and family. Snapchat is a photo messaging application that allows you to take a snap of a moment and send it to a friend for up to 10 seconds. All of these apps are used on a daily basis by the majority of the millennials, and the numbers continue to rise.
And finally is technology and media. Once again, there are hundreds of television shows out there that are influential to our generation, but our group only picked 3. Television shows such as Jersey Shore, 16 and Pregnant, and True Life portray how the millennials act in this day and age, and some of the consequences of our actions are shown in 16 and Pregnant. In this generation, kids are getting phones at a younger age than before, which makes it easier for parents to get a hold of kids that are always on the go. Phones are also a convenient mini computer for those who are always busy and on the go. Cameras are used on a daily basis to capture Kodak moments, and finally, computers, which play a major role in the work field and school due to almost everything being online, making it convenient.
There are many different definitions of the millennial generation, one of them being the synonymous definition. Not everybody's synonymous definition or any sort of definition of the millennial generation will be the same. but our group defined this as people born between 1982 and 2003. In order to be placed in this generation, you can be anywhere from 10 years old to 31 years old. Anyone younger or older are placed in two separate generations.
Within the last couple years, there has been some major changes in our society due to the people of our generation. Legalization of same-sex marriages has been approved in 13 U.S. states and also the District of Columbia. 3 states have legalized the recreational use of marijuana, those states being Washington, Colorado, and California. The recent legalization of the recreational use of marijuana is something that is new to our country. Medicinal use of marijuana has been around for quite some time, but not the recreational use. The last major change on our list is biracial marriages that have skyrocketed within the last 20 years. In our parents' generation, same-sex marriages were almost unheard of. Of course, people were still in same-sex relationships, but it stayed at that. In our generation, this is something seen every day. On the other hand, back when our grandparents were our age, this was a no-no.
The 4 of us chose the song Same Love because we feel it had a major impact on its viewers. Portrayed in this video was the legalization of gay marriage by visually showing 2 men happily married. With the recent legalization of gay marriage, seeing 2 men or 2 women together is not a big deal. Our generation is becoming better at acknowledging the beliefs of other people and respecting who they are.
Legalization of marijuana, good or bad? The legalization of marijuana was recently made legal by 3 states in our country. Our generation is one that is split between thinking this is bad for our country and thinking that it is something that will help us overall. There are 100 different arguments out there about whether the legalization is going to hurt or help our country. Our group has a variety of opinions that may differ from yours. Some people believe that the legalization of the recreational use of marijuana will be good for our government because they can put a high tax on it. On the contrary, some people argue that it will just make our country one that is out of control due to the higher numbers of drug users.
Biracial marriages are seen every day. Who is to say that a marriage between a black and a white is wrong? The color of your skin does not change the way you feel about someone. Love is love, no matter what race you are. In the song Same Love by Macklemore says that God loves all his children is somehow forgotten, but we paraphrase a book written 3,500 years ago. If God loves all his children, then why can't a black man and a white woman happily marry each other? Who is to tell them that they can't? If a biracial couple is happy and truly in love, then more power to them. In this day and age, respect for one another is a huge deal. This song also talks about 2 people of the same gender marrying one another. Even though the Bible reads that marriage is between a man and a woman, people often forget that it also tells you that God loves all of his children. We came to the conclusion that no matter what race or gender you are, you have the right to marry one another, as long as it is what makes you happy and you are happy.
Our group believes that the millennial generation revolves around technology and has made a big impact on what the world is today. Legalization of same-sex marriages and marijuana have recently been changed in our generation's time frame. The millennial generation will keep on influencing the generations to come. Our generation will be looked back on by our kids and grandkids, so that is why the millennials must work hard to prove that we are good people and a strong generation. After viewing our slideshow presentation, we hope you have learned more about the millennial generation and have formed your own opinion on what influences you and our generation as a whole.